back. So we understand you are not excited as this. The consultation we are told about extensive. Were you not involved? Why are you not excited that there will be opportunity for local production rather than importation? These days, the sort of soft drinks, juices you see on the market from abroad, some of them are responsible for our bad health. Hello, John. Please unmute your mic.
Thank you very much, Samson, and good morning to my senior brothers in the studio. I want to begin by saying that I would have really been very excited as an expert in the industry if I clearly knew that Ghana has the capacity to produce the products they are seeking to restrict. If I knew that Ghana had already prepared on the ground, so to say, we have food stocks in our buffer zones, rice, chicken, and all the like, that we can direct those who are trading in those goods to go there and then buy. I would have really been very excited because this is our country, and no country can really continue to develop on relying on foreign goods. But this is not the case, Samson. Over 20 years as a consultant, researcher, direct business person in the field, I don't see us being prepared for this. What I see clearly, and the minister displayed that on the floor of Parliament yesterday in his statement. The Honorable Katie Hammond, standing up to make a presentation in Parliament, talked about the fact that he did economics at A level or what level, and then he got a score of 38 over 40. And yet, he will not do presentations like the way the minority leader does. Then he went further to say, and that's what he really hit me and which Ghanaians should really pay attention to. That look, and I'm a lawyer, and I'm a British trained lawyer, so when it comes to law, don't get there. This is somebody seeking to promote Ghanaian products, yet he's not even confident that, by his statement, that Ghanaian lawyers are better than British or equal to British. He said, if it comes to law, don't even get there. I'm a British trained lawyer. You're on your feet, trying to convince your fellow citizens to patronize locally produced goods, local lawyers, local doctors, local rice, local chicken, local fruit juice. Yet you cannot boast that you are a Ghanaian trained lawyer, but he said you are a British trained lawyer. Nobody should get there. So it tells me that the man himself talking about is not convicted about it. And I heard a minority talking about it, that in the 1967 Jesse Oluno report, what happened, and there was corruption about, and they're all rent-seeking. Fine, 1967, maybe some people were not yet born. As recent as the NDC era, it happened for chicken restrictions. And any importer that had to import chicken had to go and take quotas from the ministry. The players in the industry, they know what happens. They know what, so it is real. And the NDC, who, let me say, are the crocodiles in the water, they are coming out to tell you that it will create corruption. Why wouldn't the government listen? Why wouldn't they know? I see this phenomenon seeking to create pure monopoly or oligopoly. Samson, this is very wrong because you are dealing with a phenomenon at a time where Ghanaian poultry farmers are looking for day-old chickens to buy. If today Holland refuses to sell day-old chickens to Ghanaian farmers, if today Morocco refuses to sell day-old chickens to Ghanaian poultry farmers, the poultry industry will have died. Let the ministry or the minister present to Ghanaians the kind of mechanisms that he has set up for poultry, for rice, for tinned tomatoes, and for sugar, largely the food products, that when this system is implemented as his ration, the Ghanaian consumer will not be affected. The issue of talking about dumping, I disagree so strongly, Samson. It's not about dumping. If your system is inefficient and you are producing your products at a very high cost, You don't call other people who are efficient, their products as dumping. Why will cable metal cost twice of turkey cable, which is also equally good? Why will local chicken, 10 kilos, cost about 1,000 cedis compared to imported chicken that comes with a heavy tax as much as 65% and sometimes 100% taxes on them, cost at 360 cedis for 10 kilos? Why will a bag of rice landed cost at 400 cedis, at the retail end 700 cedis, 750 cedis? Cost at that much. Imported local rice. I was the president of Ghana Rice in the professional for almost 8 years. In the early 2000s. Nowhere in this country have I not been to. I am not speaking theory. I am speaking on the ground, and let anybody who also said he's well versed put data aside, put documents aside. Let's go on the practical. Let's go and answer why ICO farmers are not doing well. Let's go and answer why Botanga farmers are not doing well. Dowenya, the Gong, and then Afife. Let's answer why. Let the minister on the floor of parliament answer why GATCO, when they came and set up their rice plant at Sogapope, myself and the late Emisata went and commissioned that project. Why did GATCO fail? Why did Finatrade fail in promoting local producers? I was handling that project as a Ghanaian, and I was so passionate about it. Because I am not in the studio, but if I were in the studio, I'll present to you documents, signed documents with ICO, with Botanga, with Dowenya, where we advance monies to these farmers to produce, and afterwards they will sell those rice to the companies. After that, after they have produced, they say they will not sell the rice. They've sold it to other parties, and then they now return your money to you. The issue of the Ghanaian product is a complicated one. It's an attitudinal one. Even it has now extended to the issue of our labor front, that now we prefer to even employ Togolese boys for our POP, for our construction work through Ghanaians. The issue of rice production in this country has to do a lot with production constraints, Samson. The minister that he's seeking to promote locally produced rice, what brand of locally produced rice is seeking to promote? What category? You have different rice produced in Aveime, different rice produced in ICO, different rice produced by as many farmers as we have. They are producing different varieties. How has he codified those varieties, standardized those varieties that can allow a commercial marketer to go and buy those products and then sell?
But ultimately, you agree that we need to move away from an import-driven economy. And so we must start from somewhere, correct?
If I were the Minister of Agri or Minister of Trade, where I will start with something, clearly, good question. Where I will start with will be, number one, I will make sure that I ensure that the local poultry producers produce efficiently. That a local bet of about 1 kilo or 1.2 kilo shouldn't cost 130 cedis, which you, Samson, and myself cannot afford on our table throughout the month. I will ensure that these products are produced at affordable cost, number one. Number two, I will make sure that I get these goods stored in a particular buffer stock at the warehouse. Huge quantities, Samson. Like, I wanted to implement that system this year. I would have started 2019, Samson.
As we understand, John, in Nigeria, how many millions of citizens? There was one Ghanaian. I brought him to this studio early in the year 2, Abraham Odum. He was used to bring a revolution to agriculture in terms of rice production in Nigeria, so that where they were importing 80-90% of rice, they came to a point of importing less than 10% or so, or was it 18% or 8% of rice. Nigeria. It took one Ghanaian and a deliberate policy using the Central Bank of Nigeria to bring about that kind of revolution. oils, and the rest of them.
You are right, Samson. You are right, Samson. That's what I was getting to. That if I were the Minister of Agri, over the years, I was part of the Honorable Koris Kwashiga system, and clearly we were able to achieve that 30-40% rice import reduction through some policies that we did. The school feeding program, government invested institutions buying locally produced rice were part of the system that we instituted.
Okay.
But move forward. What I will have done, Samson, is that let me get these goods stored up in the buffer stock. Samson, me and you are like, we are from the village. The old lady in our village knows that fresh millet is not as good as old millet. Fresh corn is not as good as old corn. Fresh rice is not as good. So you cannot produce rice from the farm come February and bring it to the Ghanaian farmer, the Ghanaian consumer to consume, or millet. It is wrong. So technically, this food should have been stored like 2019, 2020. Cured. Then you now say that importers, those who are importing, those who are traders, let's come together. Let's say a meeting. I'm having a meeting with you. I have 1 million tons of locally produced rice or chicken in this warehouse. I want each and every one of you to commit to selling it. Every quarter or every month, file to me, Minister of Finance, Minister of Trade, Minister of Agri, your returns on the sales of locally produced rice. In return, this is what I will do. A company that is found not to support this for some couple of years after several warnings will be ruled out of the market.
All right.
But not to come out with such a system to seek to use law to direct the invisible hand of the market.
Can't you do this at the same time whilst you are stocking and then you begin the policy at the same time? It doesn't work?
Samson, you cannot do that because, as you are saying, in 21 months' time, and 21 days' time, this has become law. No, clearly, as it has become law, what then happens? It's a government that has not prepared on the ground. And what you are seeking now to do is going to push prices up.
All right.
You clearly have
were you not consulted?
Samson, the Food and Beverages Association is the biggest stakeholder in this, not even to talk about Buta when it comes to maybe some of the other products, but when it comes to food products, we are the people who deal with the economy. No, Buta are traders. Buta buy from the food and
were you consulted, John? And
distributed. I wasn't part of any meeting. I'm not aware. Even in the studio, as you are talking about, everybody's talking about include Buta. The major players that are in there have not been included. And in the past, due to my expertise in this industry, former ministers used to invite me to be part. In 2001, the Honorable Koris Kwashiga called me. When it came to Honorable Kwesi Ahoy, he invited me. Akumbo, he invited. So I've been part of because of my expertise.
Okay. All right. Thank you, John. John, thank you very much for your insights.